Hello, hello, Shauna Marie Fisher here. Happy Sunday to you all. I'm going to just check on my phone and see who is with me. It is hot, hot, hot today. Oh my goodness. So, anyway, it's like, oh, I don't even know what the temperature is right now. I can look and see. I don't even know. Let's see here. What does it say? So I'm going to see who is here with me. I'm just going to give you guys a second to come on. Let's see. It is. And some of you that probably live in Arizona, you're gonna be like, that's not hot. It's about 90 here today. It's gonna be like in the upper 90s and 100 this week. It's like, oh, that is hot, hot, hot for this girl because there is a reason I live in the Pacific Northwest. I am like an 80-degree and under kind of girl. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I am. So anyway, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes. I'm gonna do something different. Of course, I'll like always do like the little tune-ins to your pets, but I thought it'd be kind of fun tonight to do something different and pull some cards for you guys. And then I also wanted to talk about missing pets because I've seen a lot of like missing pets recently. So read about them and just heard about them. So hey, I mean, you said it's 90s in the New Mexico. Oh, that's hot, hot, hot. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. So definitely when I tune into a pet that, hey Tina, that the pets that are missing, the energy feels different. Like if they're on the earth plane or if they've passed, there's like a different energy that I feel with that. But one thing I wanted to bring up is, if you find a pet that like if you're just like, oh my gosh, like I see this dog like running in this field somewhere, and I don't see a person with them. Like if you can try to like help that pet, definitely do that because you don't know what the circumstances are. Right? That's why I always carry a slip lead with me. I want to start to carry treats because that can be a good idea. And of course, you want to send them calm energy because they can be kind of in that fight or flight mode and be really in that heightened state of that like fear. So you need to send them that love because that helps to counteract that fear and just keep seeing them coming to you. And then also too, don't judge how the animal looks. If you're like, oh my gosh, this dog looks like it's underweight, or this cat looks like it has a flea problem, or looks like it hasn't had a bath in a while, or this, excuse me, if this pet looks underweight or anything like that, because you don't know what the circumstances are and how long that pet is missing, right? So that pet could have been missing for, months. You don't know like what the circumstances are, if there's any medical conditions or anything like that. So I just want you to invite you to not judge that because you just don't know what the circumstances. And then if you ever do, find a missing pet, like the most important thing you can do is, hey Lee, is go to like your local humane society, or if they're not open, like a 24-hour animal clinic or another animal clinic, and have the pet scanned for a microchip because they might have a chip. So that's why if you have a pet yourself and your pet has a microchip, it's always really important to like make sure your address and phone number and everything is updated. And I am definitely like a strong component of microchips. Like, tags and collars are great as well. But the thing with a microchip, like, is it's always in them. Like, right? It doesn't go anywhere. Now, the thing is it is inserted in the back of their neck. Like it's like a size of a grain of rice, a microchip is. So, but sometimes they can migrate to other parts of the body, but it's always still there with them. So that's my little 2 cents about that. I just wanted to to share that with you there. So yes, so there we go. So I'm going to do something fun. I have this deck here, and there is just this is Sunny Dawn Johnston's multiple dimensional oracle card deck, and I just have the animal cards out of that. I have them all kind of together because I got the booster deck where it has additional animals in it. And I'm just gonna, for giggles, I'm gonna leave the St. Francis in here. So yes, right, exactly, Emmy. Emmy says microchips can move around anywhere in the body, have the vet check anywhere. Yeah, everywhere, right? Everywhere. So true. Because I actually have worked at places where the microchip ended up being like by the hip or knee area. So that's why it's always important to check because you never know. Like it could be in that area where it's supposed to be, but they do migrate. So I definitely think it's so important to get pets microchipped. I'm a strong believer in that 100%. And hey, Brenda, good to see you, Brenda. So, and then I don't know, like if there's any horse people on here, because now I kind of have a curious question. So I know that dogs and cats, right, are microchipped, but do any of you have like horses that are microchipped, and do they do microchipping for horses? Because now I'm like super curious about that, if that is a thing, or if there's yeah, or not, because I'm curious about that. And then they also have GPS tracking collars that you can put on your dog too, so you can track them. And somebody was telling me too, they have this little tag that has where it can be like linked to your phone too. So it's like a little ID tag that it can be linked to your phone to help track them. Sorry about that. So there is that. So yeah, so all that like interesting stuff there. And hey, Kathy, good to see you. So yeah, so there you go. I just wanted to share about that. And that's why I always keep a slip lead in my car. And I'm gonna actually now start to carry like some treats in my car too. So always a good idea because you just never know. So, and I have these cards that are the Sonny John Johnston multiple dimensional oracle cards, and I have just the animal cards pulled up. Let's see here. So I just wanted to pull a card for everybody, and it's so interesting. So the card that I ended up pulling, I was just talking about dogs, right? Was the dog card. And isn't that so pretty? Lucinda Ray designed these cards, and dog designed these cards, and dog says reliability, friendship, protection, and devotion, right? And that's what our dogs are to us, right? That's what they are. So, and hey, Erica. So let's see here, and I have a couple of questions that came through, so that's awesome. So Erica says, is there anything you might be getting from my pet's foster buddy or Reuben? Let's see here. So they're just showing me like, I like my separate play areas. They're showing me like, we like to play together, but then sometimes we want to play separate is what they're showing me. They're like, we like to play together, but then sometimes we want to play separately. They're showing me that like, it's funny because they're showing me kind of in that order, like Foster's doing his thing, and then Buddy's in the middle, and then there's Reuben, and Foster's like, hey, I'm over here doing this thing. Like I like to do my separate thing, but then I like to play with them too. Like it's all in that kind of order of things is what I get with that. So there you go. Yeah. So they're showing me that they're like, we want some new stuff, some new toys and some new things is what I get from them. And then Emmy, oh yeah, it says Emmy, I know you know a lot about horses. If my friend Patty was on here, I would ask her because I know she knows a lot about horses. And hey, Christina, good to see you. So Emmy says, I don't know if horses get microchipped in emergency evacuations. People write their phone number on the horse with magic marker. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's interesting. I never thought about that. How cool is that? Magic marker for the horse magic. And you're so welcome, Erica. Yeah, they're showing me like some sort of like blue and white toy. And this is like Foster. That's like, I'm the one that's talking tonight is what Foster says. It's like, there's this like blue and white toy, and it makes me think like kind of like a square, kind of fuzzy dice kind of shape, like kind of like a square or kind of a rectangle kind of shape. It kind of makes me think of like a hacky sack or something. So that's from Foster there, Erica, and you're so welcome. And then Kathy says, can you let me know how my cat Raja is? So Raja says, I am cool and collected. Raja says, I am cool and collected. I'm cool and collected. cool and collected. And Raj is showing me like this kind of like little kind of like a Afghan kind of like a crocheted kind of blanket that I like. And then this kind of like lighter blanket that I like. Like I like to kind of sometimes be like covered with something. I like to be covered with something, and something that has like really lots of cool colors. That has lots of cool colors is what I like. I like stuff with lots of cool colors. So there we go. And it's making me think of like a fruit strip thing that has like all these like fabulous rainbow colors, like a rainbow is what Raja is showing me. Raja says, yes, my name fits me perfect. I'm like a little Raja cat, a little Raja cat. So there's that for you, Kathy. And Michelle, good to see you, and good to see you, Christina. And Michelle has her new kitten, Kaya. Kaya is so cute. Kaya's got some big energy. She's a cute kitty, so big energy. And hey, Julia, good to see you. You said any news from Pippi? It's stormy weather in New Zealand, and she still isn't home. So what she's having me do is like close my eyes and like put my hand on my heart. And she says, don't give up, don't give up. Because she says, just know like how resourceful I am. She says, know how resourceful I am. And just keep doing what you're doing, and just keep holding that vision. And it's okay. Like if you give yourself a little break, and just know, like, I'm going to be, that, you know, just like hold out hope still is what she says, hold out hope. And it's interesting. So I was like flipping through my, the Sunny Dawn Johnston multiple dimensional oracle card deck that I have with the booster animal deck. I just pulled out the animal cards only. And the card that I was just drawn to pull out as I like read your question here was the whale. And it says emotional healing, release drama, action, and communication. So what Pippi's showing me with that is just like heal yourself emotionally, and don't beat yourself up about it. You know, let that go, release that, and just keep communicating with her and holding that vision, and keep taking all the action that you're taking is what I get. So it's really cool that that card ended up coming up. Like, how cool is that? There's no accidents with that, right? There's never any accidents with that. And hey, Bianca, good to see you. It's going to go to Bianca's question here in a second. And then Michelle says, I've never had a kitten with this much energy. Hopefully she calms down a bit when she gets older. She's like, I'm a zoomer. She's like, I skid, like zoom, she says. She's like, zoom, zoom, zoom. She loves it. So there you go. You're so welcome, Julia. I'm just holding the vision with you, and sending so much love. So there you go. So much love there, friend. And then see here, Bianca. And hey, Lorna, good to see you. Let's see here. And Bianca says, hey, hi, can I check in with Luna? She's been a bit timid, and I think Monkey has been mean to her. And Luna says, yes, yes, yes. Monkey, no nice, like this. She says, Monkey, no nice, like this. Monkey, no nice, like this. And she had me like, I'm batting my paw, but it's my arm. She's like, Monkey, no nice to me. And then I think, and Maya has followed suit a teeny bit. I've been stopping anything I notice. Luna was comfortable sleeping on our beds and has been a bit worrying. Anything from Maya. So Maya says have us all lay in our original spots in the bed, and then Luna can find her own spot, but let us have our spots that we've always had. And then like the spots that we've claimed is what they're saying, is what Maya is saying. Maya is like, I claim this spot. And Luna says, hey, I like it up higher more. Luna says, I like it up higher. So she's like, just let me have that spot and claim that spot is what I get. And Maya says, don't let me be so like pushy. Help me to be adaptable is what Maya says. And Monkey says, just keep distracting me with like a fun like little like toy, like a little like lure toy, and that will help. So there is all that. So hopefully all that makes sense. And hey, Carol, good to see you, and you're so welcome. Kathy, and then hey Lisa, and hey Cindy, good to see you. Let's see here, and hey Carol. Let's see here. Any update on that the mystery dog that found their way to your friends? Like I'm like so curious about that dog. Like I went and looked at their posts later and looked at the rest of the pictures. That dog is so adorable. That's like, oh my gosh, that's I love that dog. That's like definitely my kind of dog. So I'm curious if there's any updates. I definitely feel like that dog, it looks like it was supposed to be landed with them. So I'm curious to how it happened. And you're so welcome, Bianca. And then Carol says, I think she is still with them. They named her Lucy. That's perfect. It just goes to show, like, when a pet is meant to be with us, they just like literally like fall into our laps sometimes, right? And then they're just right there with us. So sometimes that happens. It's so cool. And then Bianca says, I've been disciplining Monkey, and thank you. You're so welcome. Yeah, one thing that can help, and I know some people might disagree with me, but I have a spray bottle for my fur babies, and I actually just like haven't had to spray them that much with it, because now they just like see that and they're like, oh, we don't want water sprayed on us. So it can kind of be a deterrent from things. So there is that. And hey, Cindy, and then I'm going to go back to up to the questions up here. So sorry for me jumping around. That's just what I do. And then so I have Brenda, Christina, and then Lorna here. And let's see here. And then Brenda says, don't suppose Milo has moved any or able to move around. I feel like they're keeping him in tight quarters is what I get with Milo when I tune into Milo, Brenda, is I have very very tight quarters, very very tight quarters. But he says thank you for not giving up, is what he says. He says thank you for not giving up. That I'm so grateful that you haven't given up. So thank you for not giving up, is what Milo says there. And then Christina, this is a great question here. Christina says, my 10-month-old puppy, Theo, I love that name, is still having housebreaking issues. What can I do to help him understand he needs to just go outside? So what he says is, help it to be my choice. He says, make it something fun for me. So I'm being shown those, like, you know, those little buttons where it can say outside, and they push the little button on the ground and it says outside. He says, make like a little fun potty game for me, that I like go outside and I push the button and then you take me outside right then, and then I get rewarded with like a treat ball with like this treat toy filled with like all kinds of treats after I go potty, and tell me what a good boy I am. Tell me what a good boy I am, because he just says he gets so excited sometimes that he needs help to remember that he needs to go outside. So he says make it fun, and I would look at getting like those little buttons, because he just makes me want to go like this. So those little buttons, because when I ask him about the bells, he's like, no, the buttons sound fun, because he's like, I like to be in charge. So if you see him kind of go to the door, be like, okay, Theo, you want to go outside? Like, let's go. And he says that will help too, and reward him for showing you, but like pay attention when he's kind of doing that pacing or going to the door. And then definitely try those buttons too, because those could be really cool. Let's see here. And then you said you have the bells already. Yeah, because it's so funny, because he says the bells are stupid. He's like, what are these things supposed to do? He's like, boom, boom. He's like, I want to have something, boom, fun. He's like, I want to have something fun. So try those little buttons, because he's like, I want to have something more fun that I could like really just like boom on, you know, like a drum with his paws. So he says that would be more fun, is what he says. So that's so there you go from Theo. He's like, that's what I want. So hopefully that helps, Christina. Keep us posted. And hey, Mickey, good to see you, friend. And then Christina says, laugh out loud. Okay, I'll try the buttons. Because he's like, I want to try the buttons. And you've probably seen like on all the Facebook reels, they have all the little buttons, you know, they have videos with that. There's even a cat that I've watched that does the buttons. There was a video today, and this cat is so, like, this was so amazing. I need to figure out how to share these, but I don't know how to do that yet. But there was this cat, they had a button and it said litter, right? And the cat pushed the litter button, and the person's like, okay, show me, like, we're gonna go, like, we'll go check out the litter. And literally the cat, you would think the cat would take her to the litter box, but no, no, no. What she did is she took her to this box on the ground. It was like an Amazon box, and it had like literally like trash and litter in it. So how funny is that, right? Talk about a creative, clever cat. The cat's like, get that litter out of there. Maybe I just want the box empty without all that junk in there. So that was like really, really cool to see that video. I love watching those fun videos. So there you go. So try the buttons, Christina. So there you go. Let's see here. And then Lorna. Okay. Lorna says, I have a question about Sunny, who just started spraying in his box, but up the wall. If there's time, would love to know if he has some concern and what hey Tara, good to see you. What he's having me do is like touch my stomach and like touch it like and expand it in. He says he wants you to work on doing some breathing stuff because he's like showing me, like he's having me put my hands up in the air, and he says there's some stuff that's kind of like all up in the air, and there's kind of some stuff that's kind of like got everything like kind of flipped around. So he says my concern is with that, and he says just keep showing me going in the box and maybe like put something up on the wall behind my litter box that's like a reminder that I'm not gonna spray on there, to like it'll help to stop me. So maybe like a piece of paper or something that you can kind of put behind there to kind of be that reminder of like, hey, like this is going to be the reminder that we're not going to go there, to kind of be like that, like stop, to kind of help him to stop doing that. But he says look at like this, what's triggering you right now, and that will be a key to what's triggering him, is what he says. So hopefully that helps there. And I'm here, of course, for any support you need. And then, oh my goodness, I love this question, Lisa. So Lisa says, why does Chloe Grace always lick my face? She says like it tastes, she says this is, I'm like, I just have to say how it comes out. She says it tastes yummy, and she's like, I want to make sure it's all clean. She's like, it's all clean, and she's like, I want all the sides of the face to match. She says she's having me go like this with my face, like she's your little buffer. She's like her tongue is like your face buffer, is what she says. She's like, I like to buff her face with my tongue. She says I do a good job at getting it all clean. I'm like the little like cleanser, is what she says. So oh my goodness, that's so funny, Chloe Grace. I love it. So let's see here. And then, all right. Kathy says, my friend Michelle took her horses, America and Dakota, swimming today. Can you let me know how they liked it? They said, ooh, this was like fun. This was different. They said they weren't sure about it at first, but America is showing me like that I was the braver one, and Dakota says I was the more fun one. And they said they really loved that. So yeah, so that's so cool. I love that. Horses swimming, right? Like it actually makes me remember. I need to find where I can post this, but there was actually a video that I saw of a bunny doing like an agility course, like an actual like bunny doing agility. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but I'll see if I can try to find the video of like a bunny doing agility. It was so cool. Like watch them jump, jump, jump. So who knew there was bunny agility, right? So you just never know there. So let's see here. Ooh, and you're so welcome, Brenda. And I like this question, Michelle. Michelle says, are you pulling a card for people or animals? You know what? Like, if you want, like, I never have thought about pulling a card for an animal, but I just had Kaya pop into my head. Kaya says, I want a card. And this is what she says she is to you. And you're going to love this card, I think. So this is the koi. And it says perseverance, adaptability, and good fortune. She says that that's what she is to you. She says, I'm her little koi fish. I'm her little koi fish. So that's like a card for Kaya, from Kaya to you is what I get, Michelle. So how fun. But do you want me to pull a card for you too? I totally can, because that would be fun. So yeah, so there you go. Let's see here. And then Emmy says, yes, rabbits do agility sometimes with not much enthusiasm. Exactly. They don't look like they're totally enthused like a border collie, right? They're just like, oh, I'm jumping. They're like, yeah, they're like, it's no big deal. They're like, whatever. They're like, it's okay. Or, like a border collie or some other dog might be like, hey, this is so cool, because they're not a rabbit, right? Let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to pick a card for you, Michelle. So give me a second here. This is the card for you. I love it. So it is whale, emotional healing, release, drama, action, and communication. And that's the second time that cards came up. And I pulled it once and I was like, okay, is that the card for Michelle? And it actually came out again. So that is the card for you, Michelle. And this is the Sunny Dawn Johnston multi-dimensional oracle deck with the animal booster deck. I just have the animal cards all separated. And of course I have St. Francis in here too, because I love St. Francis, and he's connected with that, right? With animals, right? So yes. Let's see here. And I feel like I missed a question. Okay, here. So Julia says, can you please let's see here. Oh wait, hold on. Brenda says, are there any other animals around? So I get in a distance is what I get, Brenda. I get there's other animals around in a distance. In a distance is what I get. And then now I'm going to go to Julia here. Julia says, can you please ask Pippi why she dislikes or is scared of Alicia, one of my human housemates? She says what she's showing me is like her voice is she says her voice and her energy is like really like screechy. She says it's like it's making me think of like chalk on a chalkboard. She says her energy is like really squeaky and like high pitched for me. Like she's it's not that she's a bad person, but she's really like intense and like high pitched for me is what I get there from Pippi. That's what she's showing me is like she's like, oh, she's like having me go like this. She's like, oh, she's high pitched and intense. She's like, she's like, it's a lot is what she's showing me. Let's see here. And I hope you're still here, Leah. I don't know if I remember to say hi to you. I hope I did. So let's see here. So hopefully that helps, Julia. And let's see here. And cool that Christina's going to try the buttons. And then let's see here. And I got the card for Michelle. And then Brenda says chicken, cows, or just other dogs. I get check. I get like all of the above. And then I see something that makes me think of like a deer or an elk in the background. So something like that as well. So like all kinds of animals is what I get. There's all kinds of animals, not just one, but all kinds of animals is what I get. There's like all kinds of animals. All kinds of animals is what I get. So there's that. And then let's see here. And let's see here. Oh my goodness. So Kathy, let's see. Kathy says, thanks, you're so welcome. You said, how are my son's friends, cats, Bean and Freya? You know what they're showing me is they're like twiddle. They're showing me that like we're bored. They're showing me like we're bored. Like we want some more fun. We want some more excitement. We're bored. We want some more fun is what they're showing me. They're like, give us some more fun. Give us some more fun. Give us some more fun is what they say. Give us some more fun, because we're bored. Especially Bean is showing me that he's more bored. So, so there is that. And I love the boom on here like that. So it must be like a mic drop, right? I love that, Mickey. Yes. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to see if anybody else has any other questions. Ooh, I love this card. I just like pulled a random card and it's Tiger, strength, power, and unpredictability. We could all use a reminder to bring in that energy of the tiger, right? So cool. Let's see here. And you're so welcome, Julia. And then Brenda says, this is one hard dog to find, but I'm still trying. Thank you for your help too. You're so welcome, Brenda. Yeah, don't give up, because I know it's so hard. It's so hard, right? So there we go. So that's, yeah. And sometimes I've heard like a year or more later, like a pet's being reunited. There was a story I just, oh gosh, read about. What was it, like after 5 or more years, this dog got reunited with their people. So microchips are like a godsend. They really truly are. So there is that. Um, and then Tina, thank you. Tina says, I reached out to a couple friends about microchipping horses. No reply yet, but when I Google it, they are recommending it. Oh, cool. So interesting, Tina. I love that. That's so cool. Like, love that microchipping horses. I had no idea. And hey, Amisha, good to see you. And Tosh, good to see you. And then Kathy says, thanks. I appreciate it. They are over and over. They are over and listening. Oh, I love it. Yeah, because Freya's like, go get Bean something to do, is what Freya says. I love it. Go get Bean something to do. Let's see here. And then Lorna says, thanks, Shauna. Accurate as always. I already wrapped a piece of cardboard with aluminum foil. I'll manage my own energy. Thanks. You're so welcome, Lorna. And what's so cool is I was actually imagining something with foil on it, and then just keep seeing that like that's going to help deter him, and he's going to keep going in the box. And it's not easy, because our animals are so in tune to us, and they pick up on that, and even me here, the professional animal communicator, sometimes my animals, they call me out all the time too. Like maybe if I'm having like a stressed out day or something like that, I'm like, oh, okay, wait, like, their energy is showing me that I need to, maybe do some qigong or do whatever it is I need to do to take a step back from that. So our animals are always such good reminders of helping to light the way for us with what they amplify for us, with what's going on with us. They're so good about that, right? They're so in tune to that. Let's see here. And then Tosh says, hi, Shauna, any messages from Harper? Oh, Harper, so Harper's making me put down the cards I have in my hand. Harper's like this, like, ah, she says, she's having me like do like a little prayer thing, like she just wants to go like this. She's like grateful, 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 and she's showing me like that she like won with having you in her life. She's like, yes, yes, yes. She's like, I won with having my person. She's like, boop, 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 boop. She says she's so grateful for you and everything that you do for her. She's like, mwah, mwah. She says, thank you for being my one and only bestest person in the world. So she just wants me to say this. She's like, I won with my person. She's like, which is so funny that she's having me do that. It's like a little like shark fin movement. So sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy, but Harper's like, hey, that's what's up, and that's what it's all about. So there we go. And love Harper. Oh my goodness. So good to see you, Tosh. And let's see here. We have Amisha. Good to see you too. So Amisha says, I have a question about our new dog's relationship. Kona ignores Callie. Any insights? And yes, your girl is so sweet, Tosh, your Harper. So so the first thing that comes to me is Kona says, I'm gonna make sure that, like, is she really staying? Like Kona's like, okay, this one is here to stay. Is what Kona says. Kona's like, I don't know. She's a little bit different than what I was expecting. Like, I like her, but I don't want her to know that I like her too much. Like, I don't want her to know that I like her too much, that like I'm kind of like, he's having me go like this, like I'm a hard nut to crack. Like, I want her to like kind of like really appreciate the old man that I am. He showed me like to appreciate the old man that I am. So she just needs to kind of like be calmer with me, even though she is calm with me, but just to like, I'm giving her like the, I'm still kind of adapting with her. I'm happy that she's here, but like, it's not necessarily bad that I'm ignoring her, because he's showing me there's times that I don't ignore her, that you're like, so he says don't pay too much attention to the times that he's not ignoring her. He says that that will help if you don't pay too much attention to those times. So that's what he's showing me. He's like, she's like really fluffy, and I don't know what to think of her fluffy tail. And all of that. So that's what I get, is just, they're just showing me like, give it some time. We're like just acclimating to each other, and we're getting used to each other. And Kona's like, oh, okay, like I'm getting used to her, and like she just needs to like whoop, like just like whoop, dial it down and dial it down a little bit. So he's like, okay, he's like, give me a little buffer space, is what he says. Let's see here. And then you said she is crazy energy as she gets more comfortable. She has had a rough trauma background. Yeah, that's so hard, right? So I feel like, she kind of realizes this is her safe place, and this is my safe place, that she's gonna calm down, like that'll kind of, she'll get to a calm level. But now she's just like so excited, because she's like, I'm here. So Kona says, like, I'm trying to help her know, like, hey, you're here to stay. And it's going to be like, okay, it's going to be okay too. And she appreciates that you get her for who she is. She says, thank you for really getting me for who I am. And then I'm really appreciative of that. And I'm really grateful for that. So thank you. And thank you. And she's like, mwah. And she just wants me to give you a big hug, because she's like, I love to give love, even though I can barely hold still. She's like, I love the loves. And she's just showing me that she's just the most incredible girl ever. So she says, like, I'm so grateful. So there we go. And I'm glad you got her. And kudos to you for rescuing. I am like a big proponent, like into rescues. I think rescues are the best. Sorry, like lost with what I was saying there, but that I think rescue dogs and animals are the best. And now I worked at a couple humane societies, so that's rescues will always be like the way that I go, because I had to in years ago, when I used to work at the Humane Society, I used to have to help euthanize animals, and I had to help euthanize way too many pets that were we just had to euthanize them for various reasons, and it was really hard. So it's like, after seeing all that, like, that's why this girl is like just a rescue pet only. Like, I wouldn't go to a breeder, and not that there's anything wrong with people going to a breeder, as long as you go to like a responsible breeder. Like, I'm all for that. It's just you got to like stay away from those backyard breeders. But that's my little pitch on rescues there. And hey, Nikki. And then Amisha says, I adore her. I agree with rescues. She has so much. Well, they do. They have so much love. Rescues do. They have so much appreciation and so much love, and they're just amazing. And then, Tina, I hope you're still here, Tina. Tina says, yesterday was a 10-year anniversary since losing our golden Harley. Any messages from him? So let's see here. So what I get, and I feel like I've got this message from you for you before, Tina. And I feel like it is Harley. That's the same one that I'm tuning into. He's showing me like a pot of honey. Like, I'm still your honey bear. 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 And then he's showing me like Winnie the Pooh, like, I'm still your honey bear, I'm still your Winnie the Pooh. And then look to messages like, that I leave you, like something that you feel that's kind of like that's like sticky, like honey. And like, look to, like, I think I just saw you post that you got a new little duck. Look to the new little duck, because there's been parts of my energy that have come through this new little duck. So there's something about that connection with the new duck in me, and then honey, like I'm stirring honey. And it's almost like, aside from like the whole like Winnie the Pooh thing, like, I want you to get something that's like a spoon thing that you would stir honey with, right? But it's not like a spoon. It has like the little, looks like kind of like a little wooden, like kind of spindle on the end, and you stir honey with it, like something that symbolizes honey. I want you to have that, like maybe in your kitchen or something like that, something that symbolizes honey. And that that I'm so grateful for the life that I had with you. Like, I'm so grateful for the life that I have with you, and that I have nothing but love, 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 love. So that's what I get there. And I know it's so hard, right? Even if it has been years, like that, that time of their passing can still really hit us hard. And I invite people to really tune into that, because I really feel like like the day of our birth, that's when they say like the veil is open the most. I feel like on the day of the passing, like the veil of connection with us is really, really open as well. So there is that. And let's see here. I'm gonna have a question from Nikki, and then Lee, and then Lisa here. So let's see here. And then Lee says, Shauna, does the other neighborhood gray cat that comes around Bernadette have to say anything? Bernadette does not like him or her. I'm afraid they're going to get in a fight. Bernadette says, as long as he stays on his side of where he belongs and he doesn't come into my yard, we'll just be fine. She says he needs like set up like an imaginary perimeter in your mind of like he doesn't go past this point, because she's like, as long as he doesn't go in my yard, he's totally fine. Because she's like, I don't like him because he's just a pushy one, and I'm the one that's the boss. So he needs to know who's in charge of this corner, because it's me, not him. Is what she says here. Let's see here. All right, Tina says you have and mentioned Winnie the Pooh, incredible. Yes, okay, yeah, because I was like, I feel like that's Harley. So it's just because that just came back to me, and I didn't. Sometimes I don't always like remember like when I've tuned in before, but then it sometimes comes back. And you said incredible. Yes, we do have a duck Puddles. Thank you. Harley was my shadow and protector. Yeah, and Harley still is. Like Harley says, you can still kind of walk in the puddles and know that like I'm still there. I'm still there with you, and I'm always your shadow, and I always will, and my presence will always be a part of you. Always, 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 always. And then Lee says, yeah, he comes into the yard a lot. She hates it. He was just face to face with her, and I thought she was going to attack him. She's like, I was, but I used my eyes and was like, She's like, get the, and then she's having me show my finger. She's like, get the out, and you can kind of know what I was gonna say without me saying it, because she's like, get the out, is what she says. She's like, my yard. She's like, stay out. So, oh my goodness, burning it. She's like, I'm feisty. She's like, I'm gonna ruffle up myself there. All right, so there we go. So Nikki says, can I ask why our dog is so scared of my husband? So what I get like Nikki with that is like he moves too fast. Like he's like, whoo, like your dog is having me go like this. Like his energy is too fast. Like he moves too fast with me, and his energy is too fast. So if he just kind of like sits down and kind of takes a breath and kind of has some time to relax, that'll really help, because he's like too fast with me. Too fast, like his energy is too fast is what I get. So that's so hopefully that helps, Nikki. So that's what I get with that. And then let's see here. Lisa says, when I first rescued Chloe Grace, I would put her in a carrier when I went to work. Why did she chew through all three I bought for her? I finally told Chloe that I wasn't going to give up on her like everyone else did. Then she finally realized it was okay and that she was safe. She is safe. She is safe. Is she afraid to be in a carrier? So what I get with that, she says she's so glad that you like reminded her that she's safe. She says, thank you for that. She says, thank you. And she says she's afraid of the carrier because she's showing me it was like trauma before. She says it was trauma before, not with you, trauma before you. And she's showing me like a door, like boom, like slamming. She says like a door slamming, and like I was kind of pushed into a carrier before, and like just, and I didn't have much room in there. So it was like, so when I go into one, it makes me like, it was like, oh God, like I'm like trapped in here. So she says it was like from being crammed in there and like slammed into one. prior to you, is why that was like is hard for her. She's like, oh my gosh, too much, too much. And she says thank you for being her, for taking her on and being her wing person. She says thank you for being my wing person, and she's so grateful for that. So so there is that. And then Lee says, laugh out loud, Bernadette. Thank you. I'll keep the vision. They don't start fighting each other. Yes. And that's such a great point, Lee. Like hold the vision of what you want, not what you don't want. So just hold the vision. They're getting along, like they're getting along. So I'm glad that you brought that up, just that they're getting along, and hold that vision, because whatever vision we hold is what gets amplified, right? So just be careful that you're holding the vision that you want, not the one you don't want, and that will really be something beneficial and helpful. So there is that. All right, Christina, thanks for your patience here. Christina says, Shauna, can you check in with my dog Scout? Does she have anything? Does he have anything he wants me to know? He's having me go like this. He says, throw, 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 throw more. He showed me like throw toys, and I go and get them, and it's fun. And he's like, I would love to jump in like a ball pit, and I want to have fun, fun, fun. Is what Scout says. He's showing me that I want to have fun, fun, fun. And I'm ready to have fun, fun, fun again, because I haven't been able to do all the activity that I like to do, because there's something that's like holding me back from that right now. And I feel like it's something that's going on with like one of his legs or something right now, that he's not able to do as much as before. So he's like, I'm ready to do more. I want to do more. I want to do more, is what he's showing me. And then you said, does that hurt his hips? He says, yes, yes, yes. But he's like, I need to do more and more. So he's like, maybe try like different times of the day to see if that'll help. You know, so so maybe it's after I've had like a good sleep, and maybe do some like acupuncture or acupressure or massage with his hips, and that can definitely be something that can definitely really really help Scout. And he's like, remind me I don't have to go like so like hard and fast when I go to like chase after something, that I can kind of like go at like a nice like steady pace, that I don't have to go like full throttle force. Like remind me that I don't have to go full throttle force, and that can definitely be really helpful. Yeah, because he's like, I still go. He's like yeah. And he said, okay, thank you. He's about 14, and I worry, yeah, because he's like, even though I'm 14, he's like, I still go, go, go. So remind me that we go, and then like after maybe like 10 minutes, and it's like, okay, like we're gonna take a break. Like remind him to take a break, and maybe sit down with him, and like, oh, like you said, you do Reiki healing on him. Good to know it's helping him. Yeah. So he says, you know, then maybe you just like sit down, and maybe you have like some ice cream or something with him. He says then we just have that moment, or we just kind of like sit for a minute. But he says just kind of give me that timer of like, okay, we're going to do this for this amount of time, and then we're going to take a little bit of break, so then you don't do like too much, so you don't like overexert and like overpower, you know, what's going on, and just so to give it a little bit of a like a break. But he says he loves the Reiki, and Reiki healing and energy healing with them is such a fabulous thing. So that's awesome that you do that. I love that, Christina. Fabulous. And then Lee says, yes, I hold the vision that the other cat learns better boundaries, laugh out loud. Yeah, and just keep showing that cat. Like, imagine there's like this is so interesting that I get this analogy out of all the analogies, of course. And I feel like it's Bernadette's like, yeah, that's you. I'm going to give you this analogy. There's like a boxing ring. And you know, like how the side of the ring, there's this stuff they kind of land in, right? So Bernadette says, imagine he's in the middle of the boxing ring, and then he gets like, boom, like kung fu back, like that he goes there, and it's like there's like a oh my gosh, what do you call that thing where you like a slingshot? Imagine that he gets slingshotted back, is what Bernadette says. She's like slingshotted back. Imagine that if his energy comes too close, that it's like there's like a pow that he feels. It's like, oh gosh, no, I'm gonna go back this way. That's what Bernadette says. Oh my gosh, I love her and her sass. Like, oh my gosh, Bernadette just makes me so happy. And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's like, anyway, she's like, keep moving on. She's like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I love Bernadette. Oh my goodness. I love all your fur babies, but man, that one, they all have their different characters, right? That's for sure. They all have their different characters. And if you guys have ever been on before, um, Bernadette like has some character, and Lisa's LOL. She would give that analogy. Yeah, like she would, and it's so cool because like, um, the pets in our life, they like sometimes highlight different parts of ourselves, right? And just yeah, yes, she is. Christina says Bernadette sounds amazing. She is. She's a beautiful calico cat, and calico cats and tortoiseshell cats tend to kind of be like a little bit like temperamental, and I could say like in my experience of working with the shelter, like most like that is true of most like kind of calico and tabby cats is they kind of tend to be a little bit more on the kind of, let's just say, temperamental side. So not that that's good or bad, it just is what it is, right? We all have our little quirks, and that's just one of their little quirks. So there is that. So let me take a drink of water really quick. I gotta stay hydrated. Um and then hmm, sorry about that. Lee says Christina, she is a character. Ha ha ha. She is a character. And yes, Emmy, Popeye can definitely have a card. I know I never thought to pull a card for the animals. Like I love I think that was Michelle that asked that. I love that. So okay, let me see if this is the one. I feel like it is. Yep, they're showing me that it is. Okay. So let's see here. It's snake is what I get. The card snake. Healing, release, rebirth, and change. And I feel like this is both for you and Popeye, Emmy. So there is that card right there. How cool is that? I love that. Let's see here. And hey, Denise, good to see you. Let's see here. Let me just close that out. I don't know why that window was open there. And let's see here. Denise says, hey, hi, Shauna. Do I need to be concerned about my cat pushing through or tearing the window screen and escaping if I leave the window open all the way for long periods? And hey, Kathy, good to see you. And I'm going to get to your question in a second, Michelle. Let's see. He says yes. He says don't leave it. He says don't leave it open all the way for long periods. He's showing me. He's like only leave it like not as much. He's like if you leave it like that, he's like I could accidentally like push up against it and just be like, whoop. Um. So so there is that. So like he's showing me just like don't open it all the way, maybe like toot, like toot, but like and you open it more. He's like, yeah, he's like definitely that could be a lot, and like I could inadvertently escape. And he says, I don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. So he says less is more with that because he's like, I could definitely like push and tear my way through. So he says trust your gut on that because he says I showed you that I could do that. So let's not have me do that, is what he says. So there you go. And I hope you and Angel Cat are doing well, Denise. Let's see here. And you're so welcome, Emmy. Yes, perfect. And let's see here. Michelle says, can I please have a message from Maggie? She was my beautiful calico cat, but definitely had an attitude. She says, hey, Deb, good to see you. She says that she definitely had an attitude. And what it's so funny, like as I'm tuning into her, it's really interesting. So like Kaya just like choo, just like flashed through my head as I was getting ready to tune into Maggie. Maggie's like, yeah, I had attitude. Like my attitude was like Emmy says, right? Catitude here. Like I had a big attitude, catitude. And And Maggie says, yeah, Kaya has like all that energy. Kaya has all that energy. And Maggie says, like, she still like swirls her energy to you. She's like showing me like a little like tumbleweed. She's showing me like a little tumbleweed. Like you still feel me like kind of like my presence brush up against you like this, like brush up against you. And you still kind of feel my energy like behind you. You still feel my energy behind you, and that my energy is still really there with you, and you really feel it is there, and that I prepared you to have a cat with so much energy, because my attitude was like her energy, so you can deal with that. So you got this, and that she sends you so much love as well. She says, I send you so much love. She says, I send you so much love, and I send you so much love is what she says. So there is that. So love that. And then you're so welcome, Denise, you're so welcome. And then I already said good to see you, Kathy. On here, right? Like it's so important. So I'd love to do that. You guys are like the highlight of my week. I look forward to this every Sunday. I do this at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. For those of you that don't know, and I'm going to see if actually I saved this link. I can't believe I remembered to save it. So just for those of you that aren't connected here with me, I have my information that how to schedule a session with me, because I do 30, 60, and 90-minute sessions. I need to put a thing to sign up on my email list, but you could do that through my website. And then I also have on the top here, I have where you could, if you wanted to, like, if you're like, hey, oh my gosh, this information was so helpful tonight, and you want to leave like a PayPal donation, you can definitely do that. You're not required to, but if you wanted to do that, you could do that. If you don't have a copy of my book, Soulmate Dog, that I wrote about my yellow lab Luna, it has the link there where you can order my book if you wanted to do that. So let me put that all there. So I just put those links in there. And then, and hey, Lexi, good to see you, Lexi. So I just had a message come through from, after seeing your name here, Lexi, Tinkerbell just came through and said, I sprinkle fairy dust on you always. Like I sprinkle my love, and I sprinkle fairy dust with you all the time, and that I send you so much love. So there you go. So that just came through for you, Lexi. I had to do that, give you that message. Oh, yay, Tina. I'm so glad you like it. You said, I love your book, Shauna. I'm so glad that you like it. That's amazing. So yay. And I actually started working on my second book. So I've written a little bit on that. I probably have, let's see, probably have like about 2,000 some odd words on my second book, because I just recently started working on that. So and this one's a little different because it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk about like pets in the afterlife and reincarnation, and tie in some like stories of my own personal experience with that, to just kind of share a little bit of like insight into all of that. And I'm so excited about that. So if you guys have anything that you would think would be of value for me to put in there, definitely please feel free to send me a message about that, or to put in the comments here, be like, hey, I would love to read about this in that book, or anything like that. Definitely feel free to let me know, because I would love to have that, to get your insight, right? It's always good to do that, so then I can, bring even more value to you guys, right? I love to be able to do that. So there we go. So I'm going to give it a minute here and see if anybody has any other questions. Oops, and I want to make sure to not exit out of here, because then that would end the broadcast. That would be bad. Let's see here. And then, yeah. So thank you for that, Tina. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And then Lee says, reincarnation sounds interesting. I always wonder if Bernadette is a reincarnation of another cat I knew way before her. And she says, she says yes, yes, yes. She's like, of course. She's like, woo woo. We've been through like a lot of like hills and valleys, and then she's showing me like that grandmother energy. She says like flares and sparks of her like come through me sometimes. So she's like, there's ways that that her energy is like coming through me sometimes. So sometimes that can happen too. And I know that sounds like super crazy, but it can happen. So there is that. So yeah, so I'm excited to do that. I know, I was kind of thinking like, oh, I could do like a how to animal communication book. And I might do that. I probably will do that eventually, but this was the one that was calling to me right now. So I have to honor that and go with that, right? That's super important to like honor what is being called to us, right? I feel like that's so important because I feel like it's like not only a disservice to ourselves, but it's a disservice to others because maybe that thought came to me because then maybe there's somebody they could really get value from that, right? So there's that. You are so welcome, Emmy. Oh my goodness, you are so welcome, friend. And then Lee, I love it. Lee says, I talk to deceased people. You don't sound crazy to me. Ha ha ha. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. I know, right? And you are so good at that, Lee. You do such a good job, my friend Lee, the medium here. He is, if any of you that have experienced a loss of a person in your life, Lee is amazing. When I had lost a friend in December, he really helped me to get some healing from that and bring some messages, and he helped to bring some clarity to some things. And so I really appreciate that from Lee. That just means so much because that helped so much because that was a hard thing for me. So you're so welcome, Lee. And oh, you're so welcome, Tina. Oh, I love that it's always fun. I always just have so much fun with you guys. Like that's just what I love to do. I love to have fun and I'm all about fun. I think we have to have more fun in life. And I feel like sometimes we don't always do that. So I think it's important. And I wanted to pull one last card and it's so funny. So the one card that was left in there was one card that I pulled earlier, but maybe somebody didn't listen at that time when I pulled it and then they are listening now and they need to see it, but it's the dog card again. So it's vulnerability, friendship. Let's see here, devotion and protection. Like I love that, the dog card. So there you go. That was the one I feel like I had to bring forth again for you guys. So there we go. So that's that. I'm going to see if there's another card here before I wrap it up that's calling. And let's see here. I'm just going to say this is the card. Nope. Let's see here. I'm just going to not look at it and say that this is the card. Because sometimes, I don't know about you guys, when I pull cards, sometimes this is a card that actually came through a couple times tonight. So whale, emotional healing, release, drama, action, and communication. So I feel like we need to hear those messages from those cards. So I'm just going to go with that. And then also too, for those of you that don't know, on my website, I have an animal wisdom oracle session. It's like a half-hour session that I do where I pull some cards for you and I tune into some animals in nature that are working with you and give you messages on what they're helping with and just kind of dig deeper into that. So if you're interested in that, that is on my website. So there is that. So I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. And I just appreciate each and every one of you for coming on. It's always so good to connect with you on Sunday nights and just like brighten up my evening and give me like a little extra spark of love. And I just and joy, and I appreciate it so much. So I will be back next Sunday at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So thank you again so much for tuning in. I hope you guys all have a fantastic week ahead, and hopefully you try to stay cool wherever you are. I know it's going to be hot where I am next week. So, but hey, at least it's not like this all the time. So I'm grateful for that. So, oh, you're so welcome, Michelle. Thank you. So yeah, so I'm grateful it's not hot like this all the time. So thank goodness for that. So I hope you all have a great week, and I just love connecting with you all. And I will see you again next Sunday at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. All right, bye for now. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.